Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside me, the great Becky Alley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We got some rock stars in the house with us on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, you know, it's not real sexy when you bring in the title guy, but there's Keith Stonehouse, formerly of Franklin Title Agency
sexy.
forever, and he's a title guy, and now with Devon Title for about the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, of course, Keith, you're going to talk a little bit about title, but we said, Keith, if I'm having you on, we got some boating to talk about here.
Absolutely.
Of course, recently purchasing of a boat here, and of course, Michigan is a boating state. We got a lot to talk about real estate and boats, and you can sleep on your boat too. We'll get to that a little bit. But Nick Calty, there you are, Nick. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you? Yeah,
Right.
I'm excited. I'm in the room with all the legends.
I don't know
Snaps
about
for
all
Nick.
that. Definitely. Nick Calty from Remerica United. And, of course, on the phone call calling in today, we got Harry Glanz. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, lady and gentlemen. And I use that term loosely.
Yeah, ladies in the house.
We're going to have
Ladies
The
in the
lady.
house, gentlemen, I use loosely. What's up, everybody?
Hey, good morning to you, Harry. We're also going to have Charlotte Hype on. Charlotte's, of course, Nick's partner out there at Remerica
Over at
United,
Remerica,
and
yep.
lots of experience. And we're going to have her join us just probably in the second segment or so. So hang on there. We're going to take your calls also all hour long, 248-539-9797. Becky, we always have lots to talk about. Now I feel like, well, it's April 3rd. Well, today's the 30th. One more day and it's already May.
I can't believe it. I just got married on New Year's Eve, and literally it's been like 3 months later, 4 months later already. It's nuts. But I feel like the older you get, it goes by so fast. It's not a joke, but we're here to talk hours of mortgages, life talk, boating talk today,
We
right?
said boating for sure. We'll
And
do a little bit.
it's still
Maybe
a hot
golf.
market, and it hasn't stopped. And, so we want to probably get into it with Nick. And, what are you seeing out there? Obviously, we know it's a lot going on. I actually just met Nick, coincidentally. Actually, we were at an event. I had 2 events in one day, and both events were about collaboration, over competition, that kind of stuff. And that's really what this market is about right now. If you're trying to get your offers accepted, it's no longer the buyer side versus the seller side versus the lender. You literally have to be able to reach across the aisle, shake the hands, kiss the babies, so that way you can really bridge the gap to get these offers accepted.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then it comes down to the agent you select and working together to get a buyer and seller so that everybody's happy. And, buyers just want homes. There's a ton of us out there right now. For sellers, there's a lot of key things that we'll get into as how you can get top dollar and how your agent can get you top dollar. But yeah, it's no secret that there's a ton of buyers out there and everybody has this money to spend all of a sudden.
Nick, I knew you were a winner real estate agent, and again, in the industry for about a handful of years now. And when I worked with you, again, you were a stranger a few years back.
That's true.
You were calling people back. You're calling me back. You were answering your phone.
Yeah.
We always think it's about communication. Now it's this whole team thing. So you got even the title company, of course. Keith has the relationships with the
Keith's
real estate
my man.
agents. So now you've got a great title company who's handling that end, buyers and sellers end alike. So it is this team concept when you're out there working with people.
Yep. Yeah, it absolutely is. And that's what we bring to the table with if I have buyers looking for a house or if I have sellers and we're getting all these offers, we just have to remember that it is a team thing and we're all working towards the same goal. And that's ultimately what is going to get, these sellers that are expecting top dollar and these buyers expecting to be in a home. It is all together as, title company, lenders, capital mortgage funding, and bringing everything together is really what's going to make the deal happen.
Still making it fun out there. All right, Charlotte Hype, are you joining us right now? Good morning, Charlotte.
Good morning. How are you?
Charlotte, how are you?
Fantastic. Nice to, of course, meet you on the phone yesterday. And, I think we probably touched base or did a few deals in the past. It's always so busy here in Southeast Michigan over the last 10 years. The names, sound familiar and stuff. And Charlotte's great because we were talking about yesterday, first-time home buyers, how there's some great programs out there, and you really specialize in that.
I do. I've been working with first-time home buyers for a little over 8 years, specializing in down payment assistance, trying to save them as much money as we possibly can.
Yeah.
See, I love that. See, like a real successful agent, it's not about out here. I'm not trying to work with everybody, right? You know what your target audience is, and therefore you can cater to them specifically. You know what they're looking for. You know what their needs are. And not everyone can handle a first-time home buyer, right? There's a lot of hand-holding, right? So that says a lot about you, Charlotte, that you're here to really educate them, help them. Because to me personally, I love a first-time home buyer because if you're not a transactional agent and you really, really give them that follow-up, those touches like Keith and I were talking about before the show, you literally have a client for life, forever.
Mm-hmm.
Keith's been talking,
yes.
and then when I bring Keith in, of course, Keith, you run the mastermind group, and it's always about educating people, and that's one of the things I've always had you in my phone. It's so funny. You and I go back probably like, I don't know, 15 years or something, maybe even more than that. And I would probably pick on Keith and go, who are you? Why would I send you my business and this and that? But he's hung in there, and it's all about the service they provide. Again, title's not that sexy, but you guys do provide this huge part of the transaction. You do all the work at the end.
Absolutely. We're the legal entity that handles the whole transaction. And the funny thing is people don't understand that it's a funnel. So all the money funnels in that pay out the agent, to pay out homeowners insurance, pay out commissions, pay out homeowners
Water escrows.
Water escrows, all that stuff. All of it funnels through us and comes out through us. We disperse everything. So that's a big thing that people don't understand about title insurance. And if you're going to choose a title company, you should always choose one that has an attorney. We have 4, 2 commercial, 2 residential attorneys that have your back.
Yeah, every now and then there'll be something where there's a messy title on a transaction.
Yeah,
and
I
again,
have too.
We see a lot of that in the city. Again, the bigger cities like Detroit, they've had a lot of interesting things going on over there, and a lot of fraud, sorry to say that. But yeah, sometimes you've got to really dig in and have a title company willing to back you up.
Yeah, so I mean, for our listeners out there, title is a huge part because they're making sure that if you're buying a house, that you're getting it free of any other liens, that there's no phantom lien is going to come up on 30 days later because the homeowner bought windows a couple, right before you're closing, and all of a sudden now you have this wall side window lien, right? So the purpose of title is to make sure that you are not getting hit with that, and it's going to be a problem. And the other thing is when you're dealing with divorce situations, stuff like that, you have a lot of someone's on title, you have to remove them. And I actually have one that's in North Carolina right now. It is giving me the worst. It's like he was married and then not married, and then the first wife was still on title, but then he got married again, but the second wife was never on title.
Yikes.
And it's like this whole, and it's a dower right state. It's become messy, but the lawyers are involved and it's legit. So who you work with on the title side matters because you are going to have to hit them up sometimes and get through some sticky situations. And if they're not able to answer the phone, like Keith are over here, he's always on his phone.
Oh, yeah.
They help you work through it.
Yep, Keith's always on his phone, and I know personally Devin Title handles everything from start to finish. It's such a smooth transaction, and I can text Keith at any time. I texted him last night, I texted him this morning, and he picks up every time.
What? He answers his phone? Oh,
It's crazy, especially in this industry, too.
Harry Glange, you gave me some great information this week. Again, families needed to complete their 2021 tax returns. Harry, the deadline was the 18th, which was, I believe, just not too long ago. And with that being said, Harry, again, up to $750,000 interest deduction. And then on the tax side, Harry, what is it, $7,500? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, property tax up to $7,500, mortgage interest up to $750,000. You can deduct that. Those are still the 2 deductions that we have in the United States. But also, Harvey, when we have to real.
Did we lose him?
Oh, we might have lost him.
And
there you are.
And over 30 years doing this, Harvey, you have to be connected in the industry. Right now, the purchase business, our purchase business has never been better. Okay, a lot of companies are suffering. They did way too many refinance transactions. And Harvey, what I worry about the most is that everybody is going to see all this advertising about pulling cash equity out of their house right now, and they're going to strip all the equity out of their house right now instead of doing what they're supposed to be doing with it, and that's paying off toxic credit card debt or making home improvements. Listen, your house is not a piggy bank. We've got to go over that.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up, Harry, because we were talking about it before the show. Like right now, it's a little bit of a purge, if you will, in our industry. There's a lot of people that got into the mortgages because we've been in a refinance boom for the last 8 years, okay? All of us have been in this room. Like I started in 2004. Obviously, you guys, precede me as far as, been in the business. But at the same time, there's companies that are folding. You're going to see people that are changing companies because they didn't make it because all they know is refinances. They don't know how to handle a 5% interest rate. So right now, more so than ever, you're going to start seeing the real professional surface, the ones that have experience, and they're going to be the ones that get your offers accepted.
All right, mortgages and real estate. We come back to join you, 248-539-9797. Keep it here. All righty, welcome back to the show. It is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 23rd season. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. You can find us at Capital Mortgage, Becky and I, and a whole bunch of people all weekend
Present.
long. 1-800-LOW-RATE. All weekend long. Get that strong approval letter. Deal with the real experts on it. I'm sorry. I've been talking to a lot of buyers out there, Beck, who have clicked buttons and have bought homes in the last couple of years. Not only did the real estate agent probably do them wrong, thank God for appreciation because they overpaid on the house, but more importantly, their lenders didn't qualify them and teach them what they need to know for the next step. We talk about following up. Becky, we got some real great things because someone might buy a house in today's marketplace between 5 and 6%. Let's tell them that they might be able to refinance. Let's teach them how they can change things up in the future if they end up staying in the house.
The reality is we're in a cycle. Okay, we've seen this before. It's literally, you can document it. We're in a moment where rates are higher. They're trying to stabilize the selling market. So therefore, and then we're also going to see another refinance boom in maybe 5-6 years, right? 5%, 6% interest rates are not going to keep you from home ownership, okay? It's just going to change a little bit of what your price point is, but it's just changing your payment by $100, okay? You can afford $100 more to invest in yourself because renting is not even an option anymore. It's just not. You need to invest in yourselves, right? So don't be afraid of these 5%, 6% rates because you're paying higher on your credit cards. So why are you doing that, right? And, and what Harry was mentioning about these cash out refinances, cash out, you can still do a refinance. People are still refinancing, right? And the reason for that is because, unfortunately, the pandemic, people got a little bit in some debt problems. So now you can still use that equity in your home because there's all this cash flowing around in the markets. It's making your the equity in your home go up. So you can now turn around and I'm saving someone $1,000. The rate is a little bit higher than what it was, but overall the debt is you're still saving. So these rates are still historically low. And don't even talk to my grandma about it because she's going to talk crap because she was like, this 6% ain't nothing, Becky.
Amen.
I paid 9, 10, 12% with her little southern accent. And she laughed. She's like, oh, you kids are spoiled.
That's the funny part about
Harry,
it, too.
Maybe a little talk in the publication. I'll bring Harry in and then we'll go to Charlotte. Harry, a little talk out there in some of the publications. Are we close to a ceiling? Potentially, the Fed's going to meet again next week. Maybe there's a ceiling that is above the horizon. We're looking for one.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Harvey. I'm glad you brought it up. I don't believe that we've reached that ceiling yet, Harvey. I think that the Fed is going to go ahead and raise the Fed funds rate another 50 basis points. Some people think the market already has that built in. I don't believe that. I think you'll see mortgage rates continue to go up a little bit. And as Becky said, what's 6%? I mean, come on. Listen, everybody, forget about 2020 and 21 in terms of mortgage interest rates. It never happened. Those rates should never have happened, and they're never going to come back again. So,
Amen.
Harvey, if you're asking me my opinion, rates are going to continue to go up slightly. The Fed is going to raise it by 50 basis points. And you know what the good news about my prediction is? If I'm wrong, it's an even better position. So I just want everybody to know that I believe that rates are going to continue to go up.
If you're wrong, it's good news also. Charlotte Hypes, Remerica United. Charlotte, we spoke yesterday. These first-time home buyers, they don't know the difference because their landlords already sent them the letter saying they're going to raise another $200-$300. We got to get these families into houses and some down payment assistance programs. Let's just talk about a few of the things here in Southeast Michigan.
Sure. So one of my favorite go-to down payment assistance programs, National Faith, first-time home buyers. They are a nonprofit organization that, help a lot of home buyers, first-time home buyers get into homes for as little to no money out of pocket as possible. So they offer up to $15,000. Let me correct that, $14,999, okay? Their qualifications are pretty good. So credit score must be 580 or higher, must contribute at least $1,000 of your own money out of pocket. There's just so much. You have to take a home buying course.
Yeah. That's a great program. Income limits on that one, right?
So there are income limits. It just recently raised it. So now one person can make at least $51,000, I want to say, and qualify for this grant. And it's only available in Wayne County right now. All cities but 4. So Canton, Redford, Detroit, and Dearborn Heights are not are those 4 cities.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's a selected program. Of course,
Yep.
Becky, we do the MISHDA program, which is fantastic. Michigan State Housing Development Authority. They got rid of the Flex program yesterday.
Yeah.
There's some news. They made some news. So definitely, if you're a MISHDA client, you want to reach out to your lender. Call us, the experts at Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll get you set up. Becky, great program. Tell us a little bit about the 75 and the 10,000.
Yeah, so the MISHDA program, so what you just heard was Charlotte educating, schooling everyone out there. She's obviously a very educated real estate agent to know lending products, right? Most real estate agents don't. So she was very articulate on that. So snaps for you there. But these first-time homebuyer programs, what you need to understand is you either fit in the box or you don't, okay? Because if they're going to give you money, you need to make sure that you're not exceeding the income limits, the ratios, things like that, right? So we can contort you to fit into a box a little bit. Maybe if your credit score is not there, we can repair your credit. But MISHDA, you have to have a 640. The max on a targeted area is going to be 96,000, so you can't exceed that. And in certain areas, you can do the 75 or the 10 grand, depending on what's going to work. So they canceled the flex. So the flex, what that was, is you had to have a 660, and you could be a repeat buyer, right? Well, some people were starting to abuse that program, which would, and so MISHDA cut it out. Said absolutely not, because they're not playing games. We're not trying to. No one is going to do anything to put us in a position to be worse off. So it's all about setting everyone for success, but also for the future.
All right. Also, you can purchase a home with as little as 3% down. Of course, conventional loans, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, 3% down, FHA, 3.5%, and then our USDA and VA zero down programs. Call Capital Mortgage Funding.
Even the physicians.
The physician loan we have the great doctor loans out there again.
Zero down, no PMI. So whatever you need, you call Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us today. We want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. But we got rock stars in the house with us right now, and we're going to hook you up with some great real estate agents.
Nick, I'm going to get into buying a house, and we're going to dive into a little house and condo conversation. We had a little bit of that conversation yesterday. So house or condo, or how about this one, Keystone House? How about boat or boat style living? Families in Michigan, again, we got a lot of registered boaters out there. I'm going to cut the plastic wrap off it. The winterization is about to end here for a lot of families. Whoever went ahead and de-winterized their boat last weekend, thanks for jinxing us on the weather. That's for sure. But Keith, as a boater in Michigan, a lot of fun. Just give us a little vibe. Families, of course, you're out on the big water. So just give us a little bit vibe about what's going on moving into 2022 season.
Yeah, so we were at Island Cove Marina at the end of North River Road in Harrison Township, and we decided to upgrade, and we went to MacRae. So we just bought a membership to MacRae. We just tore the wrap off our boat. I had the marina manager do it, and we are blessed and so excited to get out there. Like you mentioned earlier, luckily we can sleep on our boat. So we have 2 boys, and we have 2 bedrooms, and we have all the smart TVs down there, so it keeps them occupied. But yeah,
so what you're saying is we're all going on Keith's boat.
Well, I was just going to say that too. I just looked at my phone and I don't see any invite from Harvey.
Not quite yet. Well, and then Keith, again, cost of boating. Again, you get a place to dock your boat. Some families say, you know what, I'm not going to spend it. I'll put it into my house on the water. Yep. And there's been some families that have got great investments there in St. Clair Shores, up and down the St. Clair coastline.
Yeah, absolutely. We looked at homes. Along the water, and it's a bit inflated.
Yeah.
As you know, anything on the water is always inflated. Lake St. Clair is probably double. So we decided to go with a boat, but you know what they say about a boat, right?
The happiest
Bust out
day.
another 1,000?
Bust out another 1,000, baby.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and that's true. I bought the boat last year, and it's been a lot of thousands. So I need some title orders, folks.
Yeah, hey, we'll get you those title orders. Of course, the economy's making gas cost a little bit more. So, hey, you can still have the boat. You don't have to always take it to Cedar Point every weekend, or take it wherever you're going to fly with it.
That's why you pick the right marina, so you live kind of the country club lifestyle, so you don't have to go out on the water every single time.
All right, we get that on the golfing side too, Nick. Of course, Michigan with tons of golf courses around. Of course, we got the great boat lifestyle. We got plenty of golf courses. You can buy a house on a golf course, get one of those golf carts, and now you're living that type of lifestyle. That's a good way to fly.
Exactly. Yeah, and we have a few clients that are actually looking in those areas. I am finding it's tough to get those, though. There's been gobbled up, and there's not a ton of them out there. But when they are, it's like top real estate.
Well, you got to choose your lifestyle, Becky Alley. And again, we talk about it. A house is a roof over your head. It's a lot more. That's just not something you're buying like a car that you can trade in every couple of years if you don't like it. A house is a big investment. It might take a few years, especially if you're overpaying for a house, to get that money back. And then, Becky, though, the association fees, that's a lot of buying power. I did some math last night, and I'll let you comment on it. Roughly a $350 association fee for a condominium is about $62,000 to $65,000, depending upon your interest rate, in buying power.
But it also affects what you're going to be able to afford, right? So when someone's buying a condo, it's important that we know that you're looking to buy a condo, because if we're trying to spread you really thin because we're trying to get you in a competitive situation where you can maximize your buying power, and then all of a sudden you hit me with, well, this is a condo, I'm looking for a condo, well, then that changes everything, because now you're adding $250 to your payment, right? And what are you getting for those association fees, right? You're getting property maintenance, things like that. But it's definitely key that when you are looking, you make sure that your lender knows you're looking for condos, because it all needs to go copacetic with what we're trying to do for you.
All right, we'll talk about lending and buying and selling and a whole lot more. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. All righty, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us there, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I'm Harvey Freed, Becky Alley, one of the top loan officers in the United States. Keystone House, of course, Devin Title here locally, been around forever. And Nick Calty with Remerica United in Charlotte. Hype, she joins us, Nick's partner. She's on the line, and Harry Glanz is on the line also. And let's go there, Nick. There's no doubt about it. Purchasing a house in today's marketplace, lots of weird language out there. It's a different market. Appraisal guarantees, pass-fail inspections, down payment assistance, overbidding. Tell us a little bit about what's going on, buyers and sellers in today's market. You got some numbers.
Yeah, I do. And, I know Harry's a big number guy. So right now we're looking at home sales are down about 9%. That means that we don't have as many homes as last year. That's the biggest thing. Price is up 6% too. So not only do we have less homes, but they're also going for even higher. And that's incredibly tough for buyers. So what Charlotte and I are here to do is tell you how you can be the winner. One of the things is to get very aggressive. Now is not the time to just dip your toes in. If you want to get a house and you want to be there for a long time to put equity in your own asset, then you have to start knowing the lingo and knowing all the tips and tricks to winning these. One of them is the word that nobody wants to hear. The two words is appraisal guarantee, and basically what that is if you have a house listed at $200,000 and you offer $220,000, you're filling that gap of that $20,000. Now, not the whole thing, but you can say, hey, if this doesn't come in at $220,000, maybe we give you $10,000 out of our own pocket, right? And what that's doing is it's guaranteeing the seller that you're going to close, and that's the biggest point that a seller wants to see is not necessarily the highest offer. Hey, your home's listed at $200,000. I'll give you $280,000. It's not realistic. So when you see somebody that goes over and they guarantee it with money out of their own pocket, hey, if it doesn't come in at the offer price, we'll give you some of our own money. That really lets the seller know that you're serious. And also working with a good lender like Capital Mortgage Funding is going to give the seller clarification that you're definitely going to close this.
Yeah, so what he's also saying, too, is that these prices on these homes, everyone is fully aware that they're not going to appraise for these over asking, right? So the appraisal guarantees are basically saying, we know it's not going to appraise for over $200,000. So if you're going to offer me $220,000, we need to make sure that you are going to actually be able to give us $220,000.
Right. How are we going to get to that $220,000 exactly? Because again, with people going way over, it's just not realistic. And I think sellers are starting to realize that too. So appraisal guarantees is probably the biggest one. And I'm sure most of you guys have heard it out there. And I know you don't like hearing it and we don't like hearing it either, but sellers are licking their chops when they hear it. Another thing you can do, too, is occupancy. Most sellers are going to need time after they move, and they've lived there for 10, 15 years. Why not give them the 30 to 60 days to move out? It's their home. So an easy way to start winning some offers here is, let's say they need 30 days, right? Why don't you just let them live there for free? It's the home they've known, the home that they're going to move out of, and guess what? They probably need to find another home as well. So that's the biggest thing. And allowing them to live there comfortably could be the difference between you and a few other offers.
I like that part too.
Yeah.
Charlotte, you want to jump in on that at all?
Yeah, Charlotte. One of the reasons real quick that I went over to Remerica recently is because of Charlotte. I've been working with her for a couple of years now, and she's incredibly humble and knowledgeable, and I swear she knows buyer programs, and she'll get any buyer into any home. I'm learning from her every single day.
This is a market for real estate agents.
Yep.
Serious, professional real estate agents. Because if you're not, you're going to get exposed, and that's why your offers are going to get passed up on.
You need to know the lingo. You need to know what's going on right now, because again, if you're not, just like Becky always says, we're going to separate the players from the pretenders. And if you're just a pretender in this market and you came in here because we're hot, unfortunately, in the next few years now, it's just not going to go well for you.
Charlotte, I was going to let you jump in on that.
I agree. Writing clever offers is the key of the game. Listening to your clients, having a conversation with that listing agent, finding out what the seller wants. There's just so many things that professional agents need to start doing instead of just, writing up an offer, submitting it without having that first conversation with the listing agent. Their deal's not going to probably get accepted, right? Because no one knows that the offer is coming in. As far as buyers goes, listening to their real estate agent, making suggestions on how to write the best offer. If that agent has their best interest in hand, it's going to get accepted. But I'm a huge advocate for occupancy. I love the fact that we can get people into homes and sellers not paying occupancy for up to 60 days. It's a game changer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Up to 60 days, exactly. Because again, most of those sellers are trying to find their own homes too.
Right.
So let them live there. Let them find their home in the meantime.
So, Harvey, how about you tell them, why is it 60 days?
Well, that's the maximum, of course, when you close on any of the transactions that people are closing with. With mortgages, they're stating that, and they're already signed something, so without committing a fraud, they are signing a document that says they must occupy the property as their primary residence within 60 days. Otherwise, that's actually would be a rental property. Now, Becky, sometimes things get a little bit changed throughout that, and, there's things we don't know about, but generally speaking, you got to play it by the book. And again, lenders do check on that, so make sure you do the right thing. And I like what Charlotte said.
Yep.
You're giving the family 60 days. It could separate your offer from maybe the other offer.
It's an easy win. It's an easy thing to do.
It's easy,
it's
and
so
it's
easy
a lot
to
of
do.
money.
Especially because when you're at closing, what part of your closing cost is that first month's mortgage. So guess what? If you're closing on May 1st, you don't actually have a mortgage payment until July 1st. So it's somewhat out of sight, out of mind. Just let them live there for that 30, 60 days. Maybe you take a hit a little bit to let them find their next home, but guess what? You just won the home over 6 other offers. And I know buyers are stressed out right now, and they're starting to get incredibly discouraged, but we're just trying to tell you what's winning out there.
Well,
and Charlotte knows that more than anybody.
Agents, please, I beg you, on the title end, disclose the exact amount of days, because sometimes they'll agree outside for 60, they'll put 30, and then the key exchange runs through the title company.
Yeah, now you're chasing a little bit of money there from somebody.
Title
So
really
true.
handles a lot. So when you get somebody like Keith Stonehouse and Devin Title, they're really on top of it. I tell you, everything goes through title.
Becky, how about these folks that missed out, the old FOMO that I'm learning about here, the fear of missing out, the FOMO. The heartfelt, it feels the pain. But, they missed out on, maybe they were overbid, maybe they were afraid, highest and best. These are scary things.
Scary
but
words.
some of them took advantage. Look, congratulate and salute out there to the real estate agents and lenders that were firm and got their buyers into that house last year, because now they're all set. They don't have to worry about that 5+ interest rate, let's say.
The real estate agent and the lender, we set the tone, the temperature, right? If you're working with a real estate agent that makes you feel stressed out, oh man, we lost another one. Okay, well, that's going to make me feel stressed out. Now I have anxiety. I don't want to have anxiety, so I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to move on, because what is for you will come to you. You got to manifest it, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and that is okay, because you're still going to get that home. And those individuals that did get out because they couldn't handle it or it was a little bit too much pressure, they stepped right back into the market with what? Higher rates, higher price points, and it's going to continue to do that. So you need to weather the storm, get out there, be aggressive, align yourself with the sun, moon, and the stars. We are one of the stars for you, and we're going to help you get accepted offers. But us communication, like what Charlotte was saying, is now is the time where you're reaching across the aisle. You have to talk to the listing agent. If your lender is not talking to the listing agent, that is also a problem, because they need to know that they can communicate with me, with Harvey, with anyone on the whole entire transaction, because we're all rowing in the same direction. It's not me versus you. We are all trying to achieve the same goal.
I took the call last Sunday, 2 calls last Sunday. My buyer did not get the house, but I took the call, and again, hopefully maybe they'll get the next one.
Yeah.
And you never know. 248-539-9797. We'll take some calls here all morning long. Of course, a full day of sports. Got Pat Caputo after us. Then Chapman's then following in. And boy, Tiger Baseball way later in the day. So a lot here on 97.1 The Ticket.
I want to talk about something real quick. Talk about the key exchange real quick. I want to bring Keith in here.
Yeah.
So what we were talking about is, if someone's giving you occupancy, right, you got 60 days, and then, it needs to be documented when the key exchange is happening. So what you guys are hearing is, the transaction doesn't stop the day of closing. You still have moving parts, right? And who you are aligning with to take care of your clients at the end of that transaction is key. So someone with Keith, right, he's the one that's going to be making sure that the security deposit, right? If there's 60 days, let's just say you left $1,000 on the table to make sure that the seller didn't destroy the home. That is the title company taking care of that. The key exchange, they need to know when this is happening, who's meeting. They are the ones that are staying in contact with our buyers, our sellers, to bring everything together, right? So it is key how they document everything, right?
You said it's key. How they document everything.
Yeah. Key.
Oh, Keith. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, the key exchange. I like that.
No pun intended.
No pun. No, absolutely. We are still there after the fact, and a lot of people forget that. Title is kind of the behind-the-scenes player in this whole transaction, despite us being the nucleus of the whole transaction. But yeah, communication and actually getting everything documented correctly with key exchange. Even if you want to change a day or two, we still need to know that, because that throws off the numbers, that throws off the check that we need to to disperse, anything.
Yeah, especially with summer coming up again, the summer taxes due July 1st. Sometimes there's conversations about that. Mortgage awareness. Definitely, you got to deal with a great lender out there. We'll teach you all about it. Call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. There's escrow mistakes. You get a bad lender out there, you don't even know who to pay. Call the best. Keep it here in your backyard, Capital Mortgage Funding. And we're up against another break. 248-539-9797. When we come back, all your calls. Welcome back, 9:45. It's April 30th, and you're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Freed. She's Becky Ailey, Keith Stonehouse, Devin Title, and Nick Calty live in the studio. Remerica United, of course. Charlotte Hypes, she's also Nick's partner there, Remerica United. You guys are, we'll talk about that grocery store near you guys where they had the highest lottery winner ever. I'm just going to hang out with you guys so I can go buy my lotto tickets next door.
Yeah, really.
Talk a little bit about that. And Harry Glanz, of course, the boss man, is on the line to talk mortgages and real estate. If you'd like to join us, 248-539-9797. Keith, I always say I'm going to bring you back into this a little bit here. We always like the boating aspect of things, and we like title. There's all these weird things that make Michigan great or real estate great, is having that. It's sort of quiet. It's having that great title company behind you. So thanks for joining us, of course, this morning, filling in some blanks. Hey, we got tax season just came up behind us a week ago. Becky Ellie, self-employed borrowers who want to use that 2021 income, very important because we just got out of the pandemic. Very important that they hurry up and file. Otherwise, we have to do the extension, and now we're using the 19 and 20 tax returns.
Yeah, and I'm actually dealing with a couple self-employed buyers right now, and they are in the process. They filed an extension. They're going to finish up their 21 taxes. Well, I'm looking at their 19 and 20, and 20 was like not even existent, right? So, we're communicating with them, and they're telling me what their net profit is, right? So when you're self-employed and you're filing a Schedule C, it is your net gross. Like it's not your gross, it's your net. That bottom line 30, 31, that's what we're using. We're looking at that. And if you're at $14,000 and you're trying to buy a $300,000 house, I'm going to tell you, no, sir. Yeah. You can't do it. It's just not there. So what did you do in 2021? Document that. You're going to have to pay the tax man. You're going to have to do it, but that's the only way that we're going to be able to get you in this house. And right now is the time that you can actually look at your overall profile, and you can make those changes for yourself. You just got to make sure you made the money to tax.
Hey, Harry, I'm going to bring you back to the conversation. I took a call this week, and I really felt bad. Agents that know me, and they were moving forward 3 weeks into a transaction purchase here in Michigan, and they got a call from their unqualified lenders. You can say it in a nice way, Harry. And sure enough, they don't qualify for a mortgage. So it's strange. They dragged all these families and agents all down the road only to tell them this is not going to happen.
Yeah, Harvey, on complicated matters, we're seeing people that don't know how to qualify, self-employed people, and we're seeing a lot of pre-approval letters. You bring them into my office, we talk about it every day, where lenders do not know how to qualify people, and they're giving people pre-approval letters that are never going to fly. So when you drag people down 3-4 weeks in this mortgage market, it's really unacceptable. And it's this serious individuals, mortgage, title, real estate, we're all out on the street. The guests that you have in the studio and on the phone, everybody is out every day on the street talking to real buyers and real sellers, not just sitting behind the desk answering the phone. We actually know what the inside of a transaction looks like because we're out on the street with the buyers and sellers. And that's extremely important right now because you got to separate, as Becky said, the contenders from the pretenders because they're out there giving bad. They're not even approved, and they're sending out approval letters.
Harry, I brought you in the last few months. I've brought you even from companies that claim to be 5-star approval letters or whatever the heck they're talking about. The families didn't qualify, and they knew they didn't because they were down the road, and then they found out, and they're making the call to us going, hey, what's going on here? And Harry, I'm getting them from a local lender. I'm getting them from out-of-state lenders. Oh, they're the worst. And families are clicking buttons. If you're clicking a button, you're going to get a stranger who may not be qualified to either help you on the real estate end or the lending end.
Yeah, we just don't have time for that.
I'll leave you with this. You got to start talking to people. You just can't email. You just can't text. You got to talk to people on the phone or in person, get everything down and up front, and then, and only then, can you follow up with a text or an email. You got to talk to people, take your notes, get your documentation straight before you start texting and emailing.
What a weird, concept, actually communicating and talking like a person instead of texting and email. And you're right. You can't get a mortgage by touching a button. You're going to have a conversation, especially if you're self-employed, okay? You have to have your ducks in a row. You have to be organized. And the sooner you start the conversation, the better, right? When you're self-employed, you're going to have to document things a little bit different than a W-2. There's also bank statement loans that we can do where you can qualify someone off the deposits and things like that. So we can, if you're self-employed and you've been through the ringer a little bit, you need to call us. Well, you'll speak to me. Okay, you're going to speak to Harvey. We're going to pick up our phone and we're going to have the conversation to make sure that we have you in a program that suits you. And if you haven't filed your 2021 taxes and you need to, we're going to help you understand what you need to do to put yourself in a position to buy a home.
All right, I'm going to touch on a little bit of refinancing real quick here. We're running up against the end of the show. If you want to join us, 248-539-9797. Call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. A great way to get in touch with us. Refinancing and debt consolidations. We touched on it earlier. Don't use your house as a piggy bank, but that really means allow a qualified lender to do the math for you. Becky, as you know, we can customize a mortgage 8 to 30 years. Typically, mortgages are increments of 5 years. Take that, again, you don't have to go from a 30 to a 15, or there's a 20-year in there. But also, you can take that 30-year mortgage. If you feel like those rates burped up on you a little bit now, and they have, no doubt about that, you can pay additional money towards principal, and you can refinance your mortgage down the road. So definitely be financial savvy. Learn what the differences are. And you cannot learn by clicking buttons and dealing with, I'm sorry, I'll call them newbies. Too many newbies don't know what they newbies.
Yes, it's true. I'm going to be honest. My refinance business has not changed. Why? Because I'm experienced and I'm referral based. And right now, refinancing does make sense for some people. And those people right now are reaching out because they understand that these rates are only going to continue to go higher. So if they can do some debt consolidation right now, they want to make sure they're taking advantage of it. Also, sometimes there's divorce situations. You have to remove someone off a title or the loan. Everyone's situational, but the rates are still low enough where it does make sense for someone. And like Harvey was saying, we can even shorten your term, save someone money, but it's all about if you're going to use it to pay off debt, you got to get rid of the debt and not do it over again.
All right, let's bring in Nick Calty again, Remerica United. Nick, just coming up to the end of the show, what do you got there?
Yeah, I just think overall, like we've been saying today, there is a lot of equity in homes right now, and use that money wisely, because unfortunately I see a lot of people that ask if they can buy a home, and once we get into it, unfortunately they just have too much debt, too many credit cards. They need to pay off something here or there in order to get into a home. So if you're sitting on a home right now that has built equity, just please use the money wisely, and your next purchase for another home is going to go so much smoother.
Yeah, you know what, Nick? We ran into that one situation, a buyer, and they didn't know. We actually ran their credit report.
That's right.
They had perfect credit
Recently, yep.
Until they had a problem with an out-of-state bad lender.
That's right.
And sure enough, they got 2 months worth of fixing up their credit now, and something got really nasty.
And they missed out on a condo. I mean, it was, and unfortunately they went with a lender that didn't know what they were doing.
And it's a mistake, and they didn't respond to them,
and
no
they
one
didn't do
to
anything
talk
wrong.
to.
Yeah, the buyer didn't do anything wrong, so now they're sitting in a situation. But yeah, if you have equity and you're able to use it, just use it the right way, please.
Right.
And what he's saying too is the sooner you start the conversation, the better.
The better.
That way it's going to help us help you with your credit.
Hey, Keith, you get a little follow-up here at the end of the show. Of course, staying busy. You got your mastermind group. Give me a little more.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick about Nick. I've been doing this for 21 years, and I've never seen an agent explode like he has in such a short amount of time. 4 or 5 years? Do the volume that he does and the quality of volume that he does. But thank you for the plug for the masterminds, MichiganRealEstateMasterminds.com. I started that about 10 years ago. It's to help educate, motivate, and inspire anybody under the real estate umbrella. I noticed there was a big lack of that. So it's a membership-based organization. We meet 6 times a month in 6 different cities. That doesn't mean that you go to all 6. You go to one that's geographically attractive to you. We do a golf outing August 15th at Greystone. We do a boat outing. We have a clay shoot event coming up. We have a mortgage event coming up.
Great.
May 24th. So we do all kinds of fun stuff. Happy hour mixers, continuing education.
Yeah.
Go to MichiganRealEstateMasterminds.com.
Tons of qualified people there too. And,
Great stuff. Yeah, you can show up in your hoodie sweatshirt, but stay off your phone. Listen, take that hour or
Make
hour
sure
and a
you're paying
half.
attention.
Great
Yeah.
keynote speakers that we provide, motivation, education.
Incredibly qualified.
I'll be booking with you shortly, I hope, there, Ariel. Let me reach out to some of these great agents, and we'll teach them maybe something a little different out there that'll really help get that offer accepted. Becky, what do you got to wrap us up?
Well, at the same time, it's like the information's the same, but the message is different, right? My message is different than his message and your message, right? So, you need to make sure that you are aligning yourself with someone that you feel comfortable with, right? Because if you're going around asking enough people, someone is going to tell you what you want to hear, right? But it's not what you need to hear. And sometimes you need to hear the word no, and that's okay. And if it's not right now, we're going to help you get there. But you need to know, and you're not going to know until you have that conversation. You're reaching out to the lender and you're reaching out to the real estate agent.
And real quick, too, on that note, too, I know we didn't touch too much on sellers, but that's a huge thing with your agent is don't go with an agent that just wants to tell you what you want to hear. They have to have the facts and the reason behind their listings. And I know maybe your neighbor got 20,000 more than you, but take a look in their house. Maybe they remodeled their kitchen or put a new roof on. It's all about the agent getting you in the right spot.
All righty, folks. Listen, just to wrap you up there, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Mortgage rates up about 2%. in the last 24 months, maybe 1% higher than pre-pandemic times, but still very affordable. And get out there and we'll get you set up with a qualified agent like Nick Calty there, Remerica United, and of course his partner Charlotte Hubbs for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Keystone House, Devin Title. Want to thank Harry Glanz and of course always the great Becky Elliott. I'm Harvey Freed. Again, we'll show you how to purchase a house. I'll tell you how to get that credit score fixed up. Keep here on 97.1 The Ticket. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports.